Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Deziel and today I'm going to show you how to do the cup part of the bustier pattern that we did last time. To do the cup bustier, we're not going to start over. We already prepared the cup over here, so we'll start from the plan that we did for the plain 5-panel bustier. And today we're going to do 5 new pieces, so a new center front piece, a new side front piece, and a new side panel, as well as 2 pieces for the cup. Now the cup that we'll be doing today from this block will be a B cup, but don't worry, I will show you how to adjust it for a larger cup in the next video. Now on the plan, we're going to need 4 new references. One is going to be at the center front to find which level the cup starts. Another one is going to be under the bust at the dart level. Then we'll need the width or the distance on the side seam. And finally, we'll need the height of the cup on top at the princess line. So we're going to start with the first reference that I suggest you don't go lower than the bust level at the center front. I usually do it pretty much 2 centimeters higher than the bust level. And the width of that little part at the center front, I usually do it 1 centimeter, so it's 2 total. So if you decide to send your seam allowance towards the bottom, you have enough room for both seam allowance. Also, if you decide to sew it with the proper tape to insert the wire, this is the width of the tape, so you really need enough space to put both of the tape. On your plan, you're going to go up 2 centimeters, and from the 2 centimeters, you're going to square a line of 1 centimeter wide. Then you're going to go to the under part of the cup and you're going to trace from the bottom line 90-degree angle, a little line of about 1 centimeter again on each side of the dart. The next reference is going to be the final point of the cup on the side seam. It's usually going until pretty much 1 centimeter inside from the original tracing of the back. Something like that. Now the next reference is going to be to raise a little bit the cup at the princess line, and this you will be able to change it later, change the shape, no problem, but for a block I usually go up about 1 centimeter on each side of your shoulder dart. Now we're ready to start tracing the cup. You're going to start at that 1 centimeter and go reach the 90-degree line that you did for the under bust. Now we continue on the other side of the dart that will connect the 90-degree that we found to the underarm level that we have over there. It's going to be a curved line. Do it a dotted line because we will have to do a correction and close that dart that we have on the plan. Now if we continue, we're going to start from that underarm point and go reach the 1 centimeter up that we have on the first side of the dart. We continue with the last segment where we're going to connect the second side of the dart to the starting point. Before tracing out the piece, we're going to do the little correction that I was talking about on this line. So you're going to close the dart and fix the line. You'll see it's a little correction, but since they're angled, one side is higher than the other and it has to be one piece over here, so they have to be perfectly aligned. Now to do the little correction we have to do to make this tile line even on both sides, we're going to close the dart. So here, to make my work easier, I cut from the top and empty a little the armhole so my patterns stay more flat. Here you see clearly the correction we have to do. So usually I'm going to do the correction on that side panel. Before retracing the piece, we're going to add a few notches. The first one is going to be to assemble the A piece with the cup. You could do it from the seam at maybe 6-7 centimeter, a single notch. Now we'll continue. We'll put assembling notch for the little piece on the side seam with the B or with the C. And in that case, I place it right at the seam for the first one, and since it's the back side, I'm going to place the second one a centimeter further. It will match the C piece. Finally, we're going to place an assembling notch for the cup itself, because right now it looks right in the middle. So if we want to avoid the confusion, just put a notch at the same distance from apex on both sides of the princess line. Now I put my weight on and I'm going to retrace my A piece until the new style line and the 1 centimeter raised by 2 centimeter over here. Now, just like we did last time, we're going to push the paper about 3 centimeters. This time I'm doing it towards the back. Then I will trace my B piece until the new style line also. We're now ready for the C piece, and I'm going to move the paper one more time. Then I'm going to trace my C piece again with the new style line, the final one that we moved. Don't forget also the notches. Now my 3 pieces are retraced. I just have to soften the line the same way I did on my basic bustier. So curving in a little bit on the outside point, you have over here also at 5 cm from the bottom. And if you didn't soften the line at the waist while tracing, you could do it now. And this time it's going to be adding a little bit. Now for the information and the grain line, it's exactly like we did for the basic bustier. So you trace the grain line 90 degrees from the waistline or parallel to your center front here. This piece is cut on fold one time, and the 2 other one, I did my grain line 90 degrees with the waist, and they're cut 2 times each. So now you need the seam allowance, and these pieces are finished. We are now ready to trace the 2 cup pieces. I'll do it one at a time. Place your paper under. We're going to trace all around that piece, and I want you to trace also that little dart that we have to close. The first piece is done. We're going to do the second one now. Again, you place a little piece of paper under your plan. Then we could trace all around. Now both pieces are done. If you notice, I did also indicate on my center front cup piece the 1 centimeter over here at the center, because sometimes with the shape it's not so obvious. So you put the reference and there's no confusion. Now before putting the seam allowance, I'm going to ask you to do a little correction already to the cup piece. You know that this one here is the pivot. I want you to give a little more depth to your cup, so it's going to raise a little more, because you want this part here to stay right on the body. So the distance to cover your bust is going to be a little longer. So already over here, you could go out 3 to 5 millimeters. Then just connect with both sides of your style line. Now you remember that I asked you to do a 90 degree from the seam line at the under bust. I'm going to ask you now to do the same thing with the cup piece. So 90 degree from that new line that we just traced. It might go down a little bit, but this is also going to give you more length for the cup. Now for the side piece, you're going to take your front piece and just double check to see if you have the right length. You might have to bring it down a bit since the other one went down also. Now for the side piece, we also have to close that little dart. Now notice that I fold all the way across my piece, and I'm going to cut until the top line just to make sure that I fold a flat pattern. Then we glue it there, it stays like that. To finish, don't forget to close your line by retracing the bottom part with the adjustment that we did over here until pretty much the notch area. Now we need the seam allowance all around both pieces, and the grain line, I'll leave it up to you. The fun thing with the cup is that the grain line could be any direction. You want to do stripe and put your grain line parallel to the top, it's all up to you. And each piece will be cut 2 times. Now your 5 new pieces are done, center, front, and side panel. The 2 other pieces, you could use the one from your block for the D and the E. And you also have your 2 cup piece, so you could cut your muslin for the prototype. I suggest you do it all around, and you assemble a separable zipper in the back so you could do your fitting. I already assembled the pattern I did with you, and that's the result. So I know already you're going to have questions about the cup, how to change the size for different sizes of cup, but that's going to have to be in another video. For now, I suggest you just assemble and take a look at what you've done. If you notice here, I like to do a little top stitch to keep my seam open. So all of them, I did a little top stitch at 2 or 3 millimeter from the center line. And what I suggest already is if you have a small breast, send your seam allowance of the cup towards the top. If you have a B or plus, just send it down. It's going to change the volume you're going to have inside your cup. And for the fitting, I see you in my next video. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you share my video, and I see you next time. Thanks for watching.